Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, what went on? What went on today that you think is important? I'll tell you something. Today's poll question that is, who just filed for the first BNB spot ETF? Fidelity, BlackRock, VanEck, other. And yeah, it's kind of important. We should know this stuff. We should honestly know this stuff. So we've got a lot of news going on. We've got a new CBDC that's the program is being built out right now by a big government entity. We've got another company building out an AI space. That could be very interesting. And it's a crypto company building out AI. Crypto. And I was just asked that question earlier today about the combination of crypto with AI. Last week, I helped a kid with his thesis. And that was kind of that was like his whole point of the thesis is what are the ethics or what could be the ethics or what should be the ethics with regard to AI in the crypto space. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. We've got some coin surges based on some approvals that were expected. And I haven't looked that one up. There's another one that's dropping their NFT plans. And I can understand why. Hey, Paula. Welcome to the crew. Thank you for letting me know that you have indeed done your own research and invested in yourself. Greatly appreciate that. Arizona is basically vowing to bring that Bitcoin bill back to the floor in Arizona the next session. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. That's my man, Rick Ritchie, investing in himself today. That's what's up. That is what's up. And you know, what's been striking to me has been just how everything is going on right now in terms of some of the headlines that are out there. Oh, Bitcoin drops below $25,000. I mean, $95,000. Clickbait is an awesome thing. I gotta tell you. But you know what? For some of these articles out there with some really good clickbait, I have to tell you, some of them, you gotta read them to get to the details, right? Some of those articles are gonna be full of it. Some of those authors are gonna be full of it. But some of those authors are really all about it. And that's why I try to dig into the articles. I mean, I'm a fast reader, so I can, I was taught, I don't really read, I skim. Because my eyes are looking for salient points, and I don't mind skimming 2 or 3 times because I do it so fast, so I don't mind. But I normally skim like once and pick up the salient points right there. Highlighters are still my friend, when I'm doing my own research and investing in myself. So I think about this stuff. We've got a lot in the news. Again, tonight's question is, who just filed for the first BNB spot ETF? And I kept telling everybody, don't sleep on BNB. Don't sleep on BNB. And here we are with the spot ETF application. That's not a small thing. It's a very big deal. I hope people are paying attention to it. And let me see, it was 70 plus ETF filings, blah, 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 blah. There's also an issue, and there's also a bill going on right now that will take the most popular cryptos right now and move them out from underneath the SEC. Now, my question is going to be, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't answer those kinds of questions, Max. I just don't. That's not my job. That's not what we do here. I don't guess about next X coins. I don't do that. We have the GMB X factor that can give you some information, but I don't do that. We have other people that do. Lex Luthor in the house, and Max Alex, have you invested in yourself? And Lex Luthor, have you invested in yourself? I need some lotion. It's a long day. I ended my my last meeting, and I've been sitting here setting up my herbs and spices. Well, herbs, planting them. I've got like a lot of plants that I need to put in the dirt. And so that's what I was doing before this call. I got caught up in it, and, you know. So, yeah, because I like to eat. And fresh is better. Fresh is always better. So let's get to the news. You've got the FOMC meeting happening tomorrow. You have the decision happening. Thank you, Lex. You've got the decision happening on Wednesday. Absolutely nobody's got any money on a rate change right now. I got into it with one of my friends earlier, and he thinks that there could be the chance for an emergency rate cut. And I'm like, no, not at all. There's no reason for it. The only way that there would be a reason for it is if somebody was trying to manipulate the market right now by talking about tariffs, the unnecessary trade war, you know, the UTW. Sounds like something you should go to the doctor about. And maybe he just needs to get his head fixed. And there were rumors that that's what he wants to do. There's already a new tariff. 100% tariff on foreign-made movies to prop up a dying Hollywood. Huh? Now you guys understand why I keep saying, and hello, Fatima. Did you invest in yourself today? Don't show up here, say hello, and don't let us know that you invested in yourself today. That's right. I'm starting it. I look at that and I just go, more manipulation. That's just more manipulation, just all over the place. And why? To what end? Oh, to make it easier for yourself? Right? He sounds smart, but, you know, he doesn't look smart. Just joking. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be enough data. You would have to have such an impact. And here's the thing. So the current regime thinks that causing a commotion in the stock market is what will cause a rate cut. And it's kind of like, you know, there are other things that get factored into this. You know that, right? You know, had you not started this, we probably already would have had a rate cut. I mean, it's May. Thank you, Go Fatima. It's May. We already would have had a rate cut. He wanted to do 2. So he's probably going to do 1 and 1 for each half of the year, most likely. Right? Or 1 and then wait 1 or 2 meetings before he did it again, and then give himself some time to see, well, how does the market settle out? Right? There were a lot of avenues that he could have chosen. But when the tariffs came out, immediate drops, unexpected ripple effects around the world because they weren't thought through. And that's what we needed to. That's what we still need to figure out. How do you react to chaos? It's a mess. Before, he wasn't dealing with the West, and the he is Jerome Powell. He wasn't dealing with a mess. He was dealing with all the facts, all the cards on the table. He could see what was going on. He could better plan. You could almost even kind of predict what was going to happen, you know, in terms of markets and everything. But when you started talking about tariffs, it was an immediate drop. And then as you're concentrating on tariffs, you just let that little tax, that little tax framework slide through, where anybody making over $900,000 or the first dollar above, I think it was 900,000, someplace around that zone, you're not going to have to pay taxes on that money. You're actually going to get a tax cut. Tax cut. So tax cuts for all these people and taxes, higher taxes for everybody down here. Because the idea of not paying taxes underneath 150, that was a joke. That was a ha-ha. That was a ha-ha. Because it doesn't say that in the bill. It does not say that in the bill. Go look at the tiers inside that bill, and you'll see what I mean. Go look at the tiers within that bill, and you'll see what I mean. And so when I look at everything right now, I'm kind of like, you've got to be kidding me. You've absolutely got to be kidding me. And now we're, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is insane. A 100% tariff on movies, on foreign made movies. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? And who's buying the movie? Like, what? You rent them. Theaters are renting movies. They rent them. So what are you talking about? Huh? This is what I mean. Right? Every time I hear the word tariff, I have to tell you, every time I hear something that's meant to take our attention, that's what I don't pay attention to. I start looking at everything else. What was thrown out there? Oh, nobody making under 150 is going to have to pay taxes. Seriously? You think so? Nah. So I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for other stuff. Tariffs? Oh, shocker. Right? By the end of this month, we're going to start to see store shelves being a little lean. Okay, but that's not what I'm looking at. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, what are you doing with regard to crypto? Because we see that you're involved in a lot of crypto. What are you doing? You and your business is all deep inside crypto now, all of a sudden. Right? And now all of a sudden, there are a couple of bills out there that don't really account for, a president doing what's going on right now. $2 billion deal. Now everybody's supposed to stop and think about 100% on that. Yeah, because it'll probably take the conversation away from the $2 billion deal that just happened. There are a lot of people in Washington, including, both parties. Because what I'm afraid of is USD1 crashes at some point. I want you to stop and think about USD1 crashes at some point. In my humble opinion, I think that's what's going to happen. Aloha 8 pause. If we don't need a rate or easing, then Trump's plan is working. I don't buy that. What I meant to say was where they are shooting all the movies outside USA so they don't have to pay the taxes. Yeah, like Toronto. There are new movie areas in Montreal. So they want those movies shot here. They don't think about, well, where those people are from here getting paid. I get it, but I think it's a silly move. 100%, I think it's a silly move. You're so worried about tariffs that you're not thinking about, well, how do you solve the $37 trillion problem? Haven't heard any talk about that, have you? You've been hearing a hell of a lot of talk about tariffs. You've been hearing a hell of a lot of talk about, crypto. But you have not heard a lot about solving that $37 trillion problem we have. You don't hear anything like that. So, I don't know. It's not about the movies. We're not having that conversation. It's not about the movies. It's not. Tariffs are a smokescreen, a red herring for everything else that's going on. Look at that. A lot of people are responding to the tariff thing. Max Salas, stop. I just realized you're crying. Cut that out. So, matter of fact, go to the corner. You want to cry? Go to the corner. So everybody's talking about tariffs and how stupid some of them are. But again, that conversation is not talking about the so-called use of USD1, $2 billion worth of them, for a supposed, investment in Binance. What? Nobody understands that deal. Nobody understands that deal. Before you think this is a political comment, it's not. It's a bipartisan, huh? Yeah. And I think that we could possibly see USD1 get a lot of people entrenched in it, and all of a sudden you turn around and then, because you had to mint that 2 billion, and that 2 billion should be coin for dollar, right? So which means that whole 2 billion should go into reserves, right? Like that 2 billion shouldn't find its way anyplace else, right? I'm wondering. I've got questions. It was never meant to be paid. The debt is just a multiplier for the bankers to... I don't even know what that's about. Which one are you talking about? What debt is not meant to be paid? Are you talking about the actual $37 trillion? Is that the debt you're talking about? Trust me, that's meant to be paid. Those countries, those people, those institutions, it's meant to be paid. You don't need a company like Berkshire Hathaway running up talking about, yeah, we're just going to, drop these treasuries right quick. You don't want that. You don't want Tether rolling up talking about, we're going to drop a few treasuries right quick. You want to convince people that you're going to pay your debt, or else nobody's going to buy it. I know I could be going crazy. It could be me. Could be me. Bruh, I know you're not talking about Solana. I know you're not talking about Solana. Yes, A Plus gets it. Solana just got faster and smarter. Solana's new Agave version 2.2 upgrade boosts. Are you trying to drop a press release for Solana? How about the press release that talks about, yeah, they just solved this problem that they had, that somebody could have minted a whole bunch of Solana coins, and yeah, they just patched a hole, and they got 70% of the validators to buy into it and do it without telling the public. So are you actually decentralized? Because, things are supposed to be above board. That sounded under the table to me. So that press release? Nah, son. No. What else is lurking in their network? They're about to get faster. Listen here. The only reason why I have Solana is because I bought it in the past and I didn't sell it all. Right? I would rather buy Cardano. Because when Cardano says they're going to do something, they kind of do it. I'd rather buy Sui. Sui's taking hits and they kept it moving. Up, by the way, up. So, yeah. Yeah, go Fatima. Don't be starting trouble. Devs now enjoy more flexible tools. And you still on that press release, man? Passwordless logins. Yeah, no. Nah. Yeah, nah. I'm biased because I'm a technologist, and there are too many things swept under the rug with regard to Solana. Like I said, they have a network gremlin that they've never come out and actually spoken about. So yeah, nah, I'm not buying into that. I'm not buying into that at all. At least once a year, they've got a problem with their network. Oh, we don't have a problem with our network. It was congestion. But you also boast that you're so fast and that you can handle so many transactions per second. And now you want me to believe that you're going to, what did you say? It's going to get faster and smarter. Yeah, nah. Nope. I am not a believer. Solana has a lot to prove to me. Oh, I put zero weight in ISO. I put zero weight in that. It's nonsense. There's no such thing as ISO 222 certification or anything like that. It's a standard. You could do it or not do it. And none of those coins are taking off. And most of those coins that are doing that are really slated to be used for institutional implementation. And a lot of that institutional implementation is happening outside of the ISO 222 coins. Now, institutions, because, I mean, a lot of institutions, what are they doing? XRPL. Other things. But they're not taking off. I'm not hearing about deals like that. And that kind of news always gets out there. I think, to be frank with you, I think the whole thing around ISO 222 was to go after XRP. That's what I think it was for. Everybody wanted that. Oh, it's going to be the new standard, so we're gonna automatically go do that, and we'll be better than. But are you really? No. So we could talk about IOTA. What are the other ones? Quant or something like that. I don't care. I don't. I'm all about Cardano. There are other technologies out there. I think Hedera could do stuff. There are a lot of other technologies out there that can do things. So I'm not buying into the ISO 222. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I'm not giving them extra credit for it. There's nothing wrong with having it. I'm just not giving them credit for it. I need to see deals. I need to see things being implemented. Yeah, I'm being a little, tough on them. Yeah. Because you got out there. How do you think these things start? You get out there and you say, "Oh, we're gonna get ISO 222. ISO 222 is gonna be the big thing." And it's ISO 200. Man, shut up. About the only one I really like out there, out of all of them, I think, is Hedera. I don't care. Cardano, Bitcoin, and gold. I'm happy for you. Those aren't bad choices. I'm not joking. I'm happy for you. But with regard to Solana, to bring that full circle, bruh. Tell me about the press releases when they solve the network gremlin problem. Tell me about the press releases when they solve their decentralization problem. They're not decentralized. When you can have 70% of your validators do something without leaking it to the public at all, you are not decentralized. You're not letting your community know that, hey, we're going to do something and this is why we're doing it. And the argument will be, well, because if we said something, then somebody would find it, and then they'd go use it, and blah blah blah. Really? We're not that dumb. No, not buying into that. Not buying into that at all. So weak excuses. Weak excuses. Hutanic woke up today and chose violence. I'm only interested in Sol for quick gains. I feel you. I'm just saying, please be careful. Their network gremlin pops up at just whenever the hell it wants. Bing! Just please be careful. Please be careful. I'm holding mine because I'm already in the black. I'm already in the black with it, so I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I can get out right now and be positive because I took winnings already. My bag of Solana is OPM, other people's money. Right? Those are additional profits that I did not take. So I'm just letting it rock. Because you never know. You never know. Solana can get to 250. I really do think it's going to get to 250. Sadly, but I think it's going to get to 250. I mean, muck around and find out. It could actually hit 300. If they play the game right and the rest of the market goes well, Solana could take off. But it's not going to take off because it's so great. It's going to take off because other things are taking off. And it's in that top 10 space. So those top 10 coins, when the market starts taking off, those top 10 coins are going to do very well. Going back to your 10x question, do some research. You're going to have to scroll down and see, well, which one of these coins can actually do it. That's why I came up with the GMB X factor. That's why. I don't know that I'd wait that long. 300 is a dream. 300 to me is a dream. But again, having a network problem and having a decentralization issue, those are two really, really, really big issues. And I can tell you now, with them going after that patch, that's great, but it tells institutions, yeah, not that one. Not that one. That's how they're going to rock. They're going to be like, yeah, no. That's how that's going to be. So yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm kind of going, yeah, got a little bit of a problem with that. Little bit of a problem. So I think about that and I just go, yeah, nah, I'm not. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Not at all. Tether launched Tether AI, decentralized AI runtime platform supporting Bitcoin and USDT payments designed for censorship-resistant AI apps with upcoming products including a translator, voice assistant, and BTC wallet integration. Boom. I bet you there's a lot of MCP compliance in there. That's the protocol for AI agents. I think there's going to be a lot built into that, and you're going to see it take off. Remember what Richie said the other day? He thinks that AI agents are going to take off. I can tell you right now, been taking off. It's the stuff you don't see. It's the stuff that you don't see behind the scenes, right? Somebody building an agent that will properly, schedule your hotel and your flight based on your seats that you like and the hotel chain that you like and the airline that you like, the weather that you like, the events that you're interested in. So I could just go, hey, such and such, book me a vacation for the middle of June. I'm looking for relaxation. Sounds like a resort, doesn't it? Sounds like a nice warm resort, right? Wintertime, book me a vacation. I'm looking to hit the slopes, find me some deals, blah 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 blah, and book my lift tickets, all that stuff. It's going to be a whole bunch of apps talking to a whole bunch of apps that are talking to a whole bunch of apps. Yeah. Smarter AI agents that are kind of compartmentalized to perform specific tasks, specific duties. Sounds like automation a lot. Yeah, except it's next level automation. Because now I get to talk to an agent to say, hey, do this for me, blah, 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 blah. Hey, go look this up for me. Go research this for me. And when I mean research, go hit Bloomberg, go hit, Fox Business, go hit CNBC, go hit Reuters, go hit Motley Fool, blah, 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 and do some research for me based on blah. Ta-da! There's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of stuff out there that can happen. I'm starting to get a lot of calls. We're starting to get a lot of calls from small businesses talking about, hey, can you help us go through our current processes, note those, and let us know how we can better leverage technology to do more? Because a few things happen. People think, oh, you're going to spend more on that, blah, blah, blah. The truth is that a lot of these companies have processes that can be done that can actually bring down their costs. So if you're an investor in a business, you need to start thinking about how smart does this company compute? How smart does this company compute? Yeah. And yes, that's a real sentence. It means how best do they leverage technology to get the job done? Because that goes toward your bottom line, right? How much flows back into your pocket. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. This is what I'm talking about. It's that next level. It's not just about the news that's all about crypto. It's who's doing what. Are you not watching the moves that Tether is doing? Tether is branching out way beyond crypto. Way beyond crypto. Because they don't want to be dependent on a single revenue stream. They have an agriculture deal. They have bought into this agriculture company. They've got this. They've got a few things of sports teams. They've got a lot of stuff that they're doing because you're talking about a company that's pulling in close to $1 billion a month or over $1 billion a month. Just saying. On average. Boop. Just saying. Hutanic, I don't believe that. I don't believe that statement at all. I think it'll go up, but I don't think it's going to always wrench up, beyond Bitcoin for the longest time. Because Bitcoin and crypto represent something else. It represents something else that can actually happen. That was a typo. Okay, cool. So I was like, what? But again, I never take Bitcoin and prop it up against gold. Because I believe that your portfolio should have both. Yeah, against fiat. Yeah, that makes a hell of a lot more sense, bro. Hell of a lot more sense. Fat fingered that, did you? Yeah, probably the ribs, sticky, messed up your keyboard. That's what it was? Okay. Just checking. Waiting for my shipment, by the way. So yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. Binance co-founder CZ joined Kyrgyzstan's National Crypto Committee. Yeah, talking about a Bitcoin reserve, a crypto reserve with BNB, duh, and BTC, duh. He's out there making connections. He's definitely connecting projects and countries and entities. Just look at the deal that he did with, that company that I'm not fond of, WLFI. Bitcoin OS achieved the first bridgeless cross-chain BTC transfer to Cardano and back from Bitcoin. This was the news that Hutanic was talking about a few weeks ago. And they just did it. The big deal about this, I didn't want to talk about it then because it wasn't all too public, wasn't out there in the mainstream. The big deal about this is It's bridgeless. You know I don't like bridges. I am not a fan of bridges. I don't muck around with bridges, period. I just don't. I mean, I don't understand the usefulness of this particular back and forth. I do like the idea that it's bridgeless. So think about me sending Bitcoin to Cardano, sending that to another Cardano wallet, and letting that person flip back to whatever. That process could wind up being cheaper, definitely faster than me flipping that Bitcoin over to somebody. But then again, that sounds complex. Why didn't I just send you the Cardano? But it could also mean that, I mean, if you really stop and think about this, Bitcoin's just the first one. It's not right, Hutanic. Bitcoin's just the first one. They're talking about using this technology for a lot of other coins. Michael McCaskill in the house. Hope things are going better, man. Love cranberry juice. It's Bitcoin DeFi. I don't know that I agree with that. I think a lot of people slap the word DeFi on complex transactions for the sake of slapping it on there. I think DeFi could be a use case. I think other things could be a use case as well. I think the idea of being able to take a coin, have it traverse through another network, faster, cheaper, right? Faster, cheaper. I think that's a good idea. You're just rattling off different ideas for use cases. I get it. It's got use cases. I think the bigger idea is that what they're saying to people is, well, if you want to muck around with these coins, we're going to give you a fast and secure network by which you can move coins. So when I stop and think about it, I compare this to XRPL, except that XRPL is just XRPL. There's not really a lot running on that except for RLUSD, XRP, and maybe one or two others. Maybe a few others, but I think Cardano's got a bigger, better idea. What they're saying is that we can help even layer ones. We are a layer one that can help other layer ones become more efficient. And like Hutanic said a while ago, also offer you programmability. That's the big deal. That's the big deal. Link is it's not more EVM, it is EVM. I'm still chewing on that whole Link buys Pith. Imagine that. Imagine Link buying Pith. Be like, yeah, we're just going to flex up in here a little bit. We like your tech. We'd like to buy you. Thank you very much. And then start doing the same thing with their tech. Imagine the data that Link has traveling over faster, cheaper Pith. Yeah, that would be insane, right? That'd be insane. Just saying. It's just, how can I tap into that data? How can I leverage that? That's what I'm looking at. How does that happen? Arizona, I told you yesterday, I told you the other day that Arizona, Katie Hobbs was like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. And now the one of the politicians is like, oh, I'm going to bring it up again next session. So it'll get shot down again next session. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I can understand why you don't want to make a government move at a state level when it comes to crypto, because 10% of a state's reserve being earmarked in a highly volatile space, I can see that as being dangerous. You have to have a very complex long-term plan, because that's a long-term chance that you're going to take with that. So I can understand why governments don't want to do it. I can understand why they should. I can also make an argument why they shouldn't. Because at any point in time, you could be hit with, tariff impacts, and you need the money. I'm not playing. I'm serious. I'm like dead serious. So yeah, you got stuff like that going on. That's too deep for you. BTC, Doge, LTC, RUTXO, and sync with ADA, EUTXO. Nobody cares at this level. Nobody cares. It's great stuff. It's the truth. But you have to explain what UTXO is to people to get them to understand why that's such a big deal. And that's a little bit of a heady conversation to have with people. I'm not saying people are stupid. They're not. But it's a heady conversation to understand, to have people understand why that's a big deal. So every time you harp on it, I'm going to say that same thing every single time. Because you say that, but you don't also give that quick lesson on what it is. No, I'm saying it's a great idea. I would appreciate if you gave that extra piece, because you could do it in a sentence. Why UTXO is important, right? And then really, I'd like to see you bring it home with, well, and Cardano is linking to all of them. And that makes them a part of the connective tissue, which is why you should be looking at Cardano. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. It's tidbits like that I want the whole thought to come out, because that is a big deal, but people aren't going to waste their time on it if they don't understand it. That's why I keep saying, don't use acronyms, don't use abbreviations, spell it out so people understand what it is that you're talking about. It's sort of like UBI, Universal Basic Income. Like, nobody's going to understand UBI. What's UBI? What are you talking about? I have to go to the doctor? No, it's Universal Basic Income. Okay, great. What is that? Leads to another conversation. UTXO is using a mempool. Dude, again, there you go. Mempool. Just saying. To batch blocks. What does that mean? You see what I mean by it's a heady... You've got to do your own research on UTXO is the point. It's a great thing, and you should have an understanding about it, but it really is more for those tech heads. Because nobody's been able to put into simple sentences as to what makes UTXO important, period. Into layman's terms. This is what makes it important. Done. The elevator pitch. Not even an elevator pitch. 5 seconds. UTXO is period. That's what you need. That's what you need. And you talk about UTXO like other people talk about ISO 222. Just saying. They're both good things, but that's not what's going to drive a coin. It'll drive the coin for more technical people. It's not going to drive the coin if people can't get that simple concept, because it's not a simple concept. It's not. It's a heady conversation. It's a heady conversation. Ethereum virtual machine. So Lex is trying to be funny. Got it. Sell it like ADA is your only bad hood. It's not, though. You know what I mean? Like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, so that's good to know about that coin. What makes that valuable versus other coins? It really does, to me, level up with, oh, this is ISO 222. Oh, this is UTXO. Hell does that mean? What does that mean? Why do you steadily keep skipping over my comments? Okay, number one, I would really, truly advise you to delete that. We've had this conversation before. Do I ever skip over your comments? No. Purposefully? No. But I can't get to everybody's comments, but I didn't see your comments. Maybe that's what you should be saying. Yo, E, did you see my comments? And yeah, no, dude. Don't marry your coins. I got that one. But that's like a general comment. That's not one of your normal pointed, here's something to think about comments. I just looked at it as real quick as, it's just a comment for the conversation. So I think we're having that problem. Oh, geez. Remember that problem that we had before? I bet you that's what's going on now. You know a lot because you invested a lot. Yes. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Hutanik knows a lot because he invests in himself a lot. If I'm going to invest in something, I'm going to invest in myself to understand what it is I'm doing. Because I work hard for the value. Just saying. I work hard for the value. That is a beautiful statement. I just know a lot because I invested a lot. He's literally saying, I did my own research. I know my entries and exits. And I'm absolutely investing deliberately. He's literally saying that. Love it. Love it. That's why I'm walking down that road. I want people to walk down the road and go, well, he's talking about this ISO 222. ISO 20022. Go look it up. UTXO. Go look it up. Go look it up. It's a standard. It's looking to become like one of the most important standards. The both of them are. Go look it up. Dude, I don't see your comments. Hold on. This happens every now and then. Somebody will make a comment and we don't see it. So I don't know why this would be blocked. So one comment was Arizona governor was using power to get what she wanted, and BTC bill veto was just a pawn in her way. That's a political thing. I'm not going to pay attention to that. The next one is the tech don't always make you money. Following the money is where it's at, and most of the project with good tech won't be used. The elite will copy the tech and make their own. They can try. They can try. So if those are your two comments, that's what I got. Or did you just do that now? No, you didn't just do that now. Can't copy and paste it. I don't even know. I can't even tell you why it was blocked. I can't see anything in his comments that say, this is why it was blocked. I don't have an AI agent running that's, whacking political comments or anything like that. I only have, not on the lives. I don't have that. So I couldn't even tell you why it was blocked, why those two messages were blocked. I mean, I don't appreciate the political comment, but do I believe that, she blocked it because she wanted something and she didn't get it? All politicians do, so I wouldn't be surprised. But the fact that they're going to bring it up again next session, I really do think there's an argument to say, well, yeah, 10% of your coffers going into a very volatile space, that's a lot to think about. Hutanik, it is so it's more frustrating for me because one of my friends thought I was disrespecting him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. She could have said it herself. Where's that news coming from? But even then, that's still a political statement. For me right now, does that have an effect on our bags? No, but it's letting us know where these states are thinking. How much money does Arizona make? Do they have leftover money that they can say, oh, we'll take 10%, we'll put it into this volatile space? I can understand some of the pension funds doing that. I can definitely understand some of the pension funds doing that. Right? Definitely. But a state? States normally don't run hot like that. They, from year to year, they could have monetary issues. Great year this year, next year sucks. I'd have to really stop and think about that. If I'm a taxpayer, I would really have to stop and think about that. I don't know that all of the states are in a position to actually do something like that. I think there are a few states that are. I think most states are not. Like, who is it? Montana, Nebraska, one of these states, they can't do it. They don't have the workers to do work and stuff like that. So yeah, they got problems. Those are issues. Those are issues, rather. Ripple, holding $93 billion in XRP, is on the hunt. Remember a couple of weeks ago, what's his name? Chamath Palpatine. I'm ruining his name. I know how to pronounce it when I'm reading it. Maybe I have it. Maybe I have it someplace. Chamath. Chamath Palihapitiya. Yeah, Chamath Palihapitiya. He was saying that there are 5 things, right? There are 5 things. Let me go back to that, actually. There are 5 things that, companies are going to be looking for, or that, people are going to be looking for when it comes to some of these deals. 1 is Bitcoin treasury acquisitions. 2 is mergers between traditional financial firms and crypto infrastructure companies. 3, institutional service acquisitions aimed at secure digital asset management for professional investors. 4, consolidation of crypto exchanges acquiring traditional brokerages happening. All these things are happening right now. And on-chain mergers of token-based projects. He called it. In other words, I'm saying he called it. And he wasn't the only one. He was not the only one. So when you look at you look at Ripple holding $93 billion in XRP, right? If Tether's making big money, I think Ripple's making big money too, because those are things that actually get used, right? You've got to pay gas fees. So XRPL is making money. They're making bank, and it's growing. So what do we do with all this money? Why do you think they said, yeah, we're not looking to go IPO? Because who knew? Who knew they're sitting on that kind of loot? Who knew? So $5 billion for Circle? Circle is like, yeah, thanks, but no. And you're looking at a company that really could write a hefty check to buy Circle. If they wanted to, they can make Circle like the craziest of deal offers and basically offer so much money that Circle has to say yes. They really could do it. Circle's market cap is $61 billion. That doesn't mean the company's worth $61 billion. It just means that their market cap is $61 billion in terms of, how much coin is out there and the coin value and all that good stuff. So there's stuff that could happen. There is stuff that could happen. What size check would you put on Circle? That would have been a good question. Right? They would have to sell XRP though. So what? Or borrow against it. Exactly. But they're sitting on $93 billion worth. They're making money. And borrowing against it, yeah, they could absolutely do that. They could absolutely do it. Yep. So imagine they could make a deal. They can force a deal to happen because of the check that they could write. And I haven't done any research as to who owns Ripple. Who are Ripple's top Titan Partners, Google Ventures, Seagate Technology, CME Group, Santander. Wow. And one angel investor, Suman Talukdar. Wow. If you're not going to spell it out, don't put it up. Nobody's going to understand that. But they could write a check. They could write a check and make that happen. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to wind up happening. Additionally, major cryptocurrency exchanges like also holds, yeah, because you figure all the exchanges are holding a lot of XRP as well, which would make them kind of investors. So yeah, there you go. Bank of International Settlements. I'm telling you, there is a lot in that space that's going on right now that I could easily see that happening. But as you start to look around, it kind of makes you wonder, like, wow, you know, I think Cardano might be able to do something like that. Anybody in the top 10, you've got to believe that they can make a play for another coin, right? That's like a wow. I mean, Chainlink. You could honestly say Chainlink could make a play for Pith. They could. Or what was it, DAI that you were talking about the other day, or DIA, one of the two. I think it's DIA you were talking about. Avalanche could do it. Stellar has done it. Shiba Inu could probably do it. Toncoin could probably do it. Hedera could probably do it. I mean, you have some projects out here that are cash rich that might be able to pull something like that off. That would give you a wow moment. You could see some deals. You could actually see some deals going on. And I'm not just talking about exchanges buying brokerages, but you have a lot of mixtures of deals that could happen. Kraken has shown us two. Kraken has shown us two kinds of deals that can happen real fast. Cut a deal with a bank, partner with a bank, right? They did that. And go buy a stock trading firm. They did that. So there is a lot of stuff that could happen. Cardano doesn't have enough money then. Only $1 billion. They don't have enough money to buy anybody. I keep it there. They don't have enough yet. They need Cardano needs to build up its usefulness. They need to build up their marketing. That's a very big deal for me. They need to build up their marketing. They don't have enough people building on Cardano. They don't have enough usage of Cardano. Do I think it's coming? Absolutely. Do I think it's coming? Absolutely. There needs to be more. They need to talk about that more. They need to get out there more and talk about this stuff. You can do this right now. And if you do this right now on Cardano, you'd be ready to go do other stuff. They need that. They don't have that. They don't have that. There's no reason in the world why Solana should have been able to bunny hop Cardano the way it did. BNB chain is also one of those. Yeah, I don't think Cardano could bunny hop BNB. They have before. They could again. But BNB is so seriously embedded. Like, they're real connective tissue. Solana bumped up because of a lot of meme coin traffic, but BNB and Ethereum are real connective tissue. I do not look at Solana as real connective tissue. I think that there are a lot of builders out there that are thinking, we just saw a major change happen, right? That needed to happen. It was a security risk, so it needed to happen, but we just saw it happen without us being notified. Whoa, wait a minute. That's a problem. Because this time it happened to be a security reason. What happens if they just do it because they feel like it? Oh, that could be a problem. That could be a freaking problem. So yeah, those are big issues. Strategy went out and bought more. Duh. Semler Scientific did the same thing. More Bitcoin. Let's see. What else is good that we could talk about that I could give you real quick? Why don't I just answer tonight's question? Tonight's question. Who just filed for the first BNB spot ETF? Fidelity, BlackRock, VanEck, other. I don't see anybody that actually wrote who the other is, but the answer is VanEck. The answer is VanEck. I should have put Canary Capital, but, I didn't want to be mean. Right? Too bad there is no way for retail to profit. Profit from what? Lex Luthor profit from what? Oh, other not sure. Yeah, but I guess there were a lot of people that weren't sure. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. All right, so what else did we have? Van Neck, House Republicans proposed a sweeping crypto regulation bill defining SEC and CFTC roles, protecting DeFi, self-custody, and user wallets. What's a user wallet? Anyway, wow. And initiating joint rulemaking to support crypto innovation. What does that mean? I bet you if you actually ask them, what does that mean? They won't be able to answer the question. I think there are a lot of politicians right now that are just jumping on the crypto bandwagon because everybody else is doing it. And I think between all of them, they wouldn't be able to tell you how to research UTXO. That's my problem. We need to protect crypto. What you need to do is get up off your butts and figure out what we're going to do about a $36 trillion debt. That's what you need to do. Stop stressing about crypto and start stressing more about that $36 trillion debt problem, and stop trying to give away tax breaks to the ultra rich, ultra wealthy. That would be an idea. That would be an idea. But that's just me. That's just me. Maybe not just me. You're killing me, guys. You're killing me. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Tell your friends about us. This is a very active, when I tell you active, this is a very active community. A very informative community. Very, very informative community. And Rick Ritchie, I'm still ticked off that, that you have no idea how much frustration I have right now. Just because we were in the middle of a conversation and I couldn't see what you were writing. Worse yet, when I go look at what you write, I don't know. How did that get blocked? How did that get blocked? I didn't get a little ding that says, "Hey, look over here." Nope, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. There you go. Let's see. Did that change anything? It's all good. It's all good. See, there's Hutanic choosing gremlins, choosing violence again. This is why you get sent to the corner. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. What are we going to do with $9 trillion to refinance in a month? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm sure you think I'm playing. I'm dead serious. What are you talking about? Scheisse. All right. Who knows about that? Who knows about that? See what I mean? Everybody's talking about tariffs. Everybody's talking about tariffs. Who's talking about that? Who's talking about that? The world is in for a roller coaster freaking ride. That's what's going on right now. Anyway, like I said, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community. If you're not a big bagger yet, if I were you, I'd become a big bagger so you could take part in this weekend's. It's going to be at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I know I got to get the email out. I'll get it out at some point. You'll have it before the meeting. My big baggers know there's a lot on the plate. We talk about everything. If you think these conversations are lively, those conversations are even more lively. And they go on for like forever. Not forever, but we get deep into things and we trade ideas. That's what it's all about. Anyway, everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, as always, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a great rest of your evening.